Everybody knows if you move to another country, there might be some communication hurdles. Unless, of course, you move to France where they only speak the language of love. Or Germany where they sound like they're speaking the language of anger and indifference.
Português.
English.
Deutsch. Borboleta.
Butterfly.
Schmetterling. Hospital.
Hospital.
Krankenhaus. Ambulância.
Ambulance.
Krankenwagen. Avião.
Airplane.
Flugzeug.
Today we're looking at the best countries to retire to where it is affordable and a good percentage of the population speaks English. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 10, Singapore. We are jetting off to the Lion City, Singapore. You might be thinking, Singapore? Isn't that a total scrum of cultures? How can anyone speak English there? Well, stop typing and listen up. Singapore is a bilingual bonanza, with most folks spitting out English like they grew up in Iowa. And there's a reason for this. Banking and business. Singapore survives on banking and different businesses, and a lot of the companies they have to deal with are from English-speaking countries. So it makes sense to teach the kids English before they, get out of school. Now, Singapore can be affordable, but there's a little twist. If you're living in city center, it's going to be terribly expensive. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is about $2,500. You get outside a city center, and it drops by about half or more. The overall cost of living, goods and services and things like that isn't terrible. According to Numbeo, the average person can live in Singapore for about $1,100 a month. The good news is 90% of the population speaks English. We'll get into that after a brief message from today's sponsor, Aura. As someone who spends a lot of time online, it's important that I know that my information isn't where it shouldn't be on the internet. If you do a quick Google search of your name, you'll find out who's got your information. And that is uncomfortable. I don't like seeing that. There are these people out there called data brokers, and they sell your information to scammers, spammers, and anyone else who wants to target you. This is how they make their living, so you know they're putting some serious effort into it. That's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests for me. Clearing this information will help with spam and lowering the risk that someone gets your information and hacks into your online life. Hackers can get into your bank account, social media accounts, and get a hold of other sensitive information that you don't want them to have. I get other features like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, ID theft insurance, and more without downloading several different apps. It's very easy to set up, and best of all, you can get all this at a very affordable price. Sometimes it's what you'd pay for a single service. Most of us have really hectic lives, and it's good to have someone like Aura on your side. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like locking your front door and leaving your back door wide open. Aura is always on, doing the hard work of keeping me safe so I can focus on other tasks with peace of mind. I value my privacy and I value yours, so you could go to aura.com/Briggs and get a 2-week free trial from Aura. There's also a link in the description area below. All right, back to the video. Number 9, Ireland. Yes, unlike other English-speaking countries, Ireland is one of the more affordable ones. And that's not the best part about living in the Emerald Isle. First off, the Irish are some of the most sound folks you'll ever meet. And guess what? They speak the Queen's English. They also have their own language that they call Irish, but in their language it's called Gaeilge. Not to be confused with Scottish Gaelic, which Americans call it Gaelic for some reason. But don't worry about that, because they all speak English, unless they're from another country. If they're Irish, they speak English. Even though Ireland is an island, it's not the typical island that most of us grew up thinking what a island is supposed to be. Tropical, palm trees, pirates, things like that. No, this is a different type of island that has rocky coasts, cold weather, mist, rain. I imagine the only people that ever showed up in Ireland and thought, hey, this is really great weather, were the Vikings. Now, Google set up shop in Ireland ages ago because of that sweet, sweet corporate tax rate of just 12.5%. I think it was lower when they started. That's pretty low compared to most countries. And that's why so many different countries are headquartered in Ireland. They might just have an office of 12 people there. So if you want to live someplace that's beautiful, that doesn't have the best weather and has really good beer and nice people, Ireland may be for you. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment outside city center in Ireland is about $1,500 a month. Now, this one's a little more expensive than most on this list. They will get cheaper. The monthly cost for a single person is estimated to be $1,055 a month in Ireland. That's without rent. Rent can vary. 99% of the people in Ireland speak English. Number 8, Portugal. Buckle up and get ready to explore Portugal. Portugal has always seemed sort of California-ish to me. I mean, they have a lot of the same things. The climate is relatively close. They have the ocean right there with some killer surf spots just like California. The people are a little more laid back than most other parts of Europe, and they don't have a lot of California's problems, like enough homeless to make a small city. Portugal's considered the best country for expats in Europe. The people are very friendly. For the most part, they enjoy outsiders, they're very welcoming, and they're very much people of the sea. If you look back at their history and their food, their food, salted cod is practically a national treasure, along with grilled sardines. Then if you look at their history, we're talking about a real maritime empire. They were all over the globe back in the 15 and 1600s, just planting their flag wherever they could. Their empire was considerable. They pulled it back quite a bit, and a lot of the different countries have gained their own independence. And that's why Portuguese is spoken in so many different countries. But in Portugal itself, a little over 60% of the population speaks English. Now, it is affordable. It is estimated that the average person needs about $712 a month, not counting rent, to survive in Portugal. Obviously, if you're going in the middle of one of the cities, and I'll say this again, it's going to be more expensive. But overall, if you get outside of city center, it's relatively inexpensive. Rent here is only about $772 a month. Number 7, St. Lucia. St. Lucia is a stunning Caribbean island that might be your dream retirement destination. With year-round tropical weather, lush rainforests, and Instagram-worthy beaches, it's that island we've all dreamt about. Yahoo Finance ranks St. Lucia at number 9 among the 20 cheapest English-speaking countries in the world to retire in 2023. 2024, they've gotten cheaper. The average cost of living in St. Lucia is about 29% lower than the United States. Additionally, they offer retirees some financial perks such as no capital gains, inheritance, wealth, or worldwide income or asset taxes. Dining out in this island is really affordable. You by yourself can have a full meal at a restaurant for like $5. Sure, they've got the high-end ones for the tourists, but the average person can eat dinner for $5 here. Not sure how good a $5 meal is, but it's attainable. A single person's monthly costs in St. Lucia, not counting rent, is $812 a month. Rent is about $339 a month. 99% of the country speaks English. Number 6, Cyprus. Cyprus is a gem located in the eastern Mediterranean Sea. It has a rich history, breathtaking beaches, and a really laid-back lifestyle. It may not seem like it, but Cyprus is very much an English-speaking country. English is widely spoken due to British rule from 1878 to 1960. 76% of the population speaks English. If you decide you want to pack up and move to Cyprus, it's not that expensive. The average person can survive on about $1,000 a month, not counting rent. Rent is relatively cheap here too. Outside of the city center, it's about $440 a month for a one-bedroom. If you're in the city center, it's not much more. It's only about $550 a month. I'm sure you could find rentals that are thousands of dollars. It's an island. But on average, that's what you can get it done for. And 76% of the population speaks English. Number 5, Malaysia. Malaysia is a Southeast Asian country, offering a kaleidoscope of experiences from bustling city streets to breathtaking rainforests and beaches. And over the last decade, it's become a popular retirement destination due to its low-cost living and relaxing atmosphere. The Malaysia is My Second Home retirement visa program is a popular option for expat retirees. Here you can live comfortably on an average of about $1,000 a month, and English is widely spoken in Malaysia, thanks to its history as part of the British Empire. But yeah, $1,000 a month, not counting rent, you could survive here. And outside a city center, an apartment can go for around $600. If you get it inside the city, you're looking at about $1,500, so it's a bit of a jump. 60% of Malaysia speaks English. Number 4, the Philippines. The Philippines is a stunning island chain in Southeast Asia with a rich history and culture. The people here are known for their hospitality and friendly nature, with beautiful beaches, warm weather, and breathtaking natural beauty. It's no wonder the Philippines is a popular tourist destination and landing spot by retired military. Yes, talk to just about anyone that has ever been in the Navy, and they know someone that stayed in the Philippines. Like after their service was up, they just stayed there, or they moved there after they got out, or retired there. It's a big thing for the Navy. Now, there's a couple different surveys that ranked the Philippines somewhere between 7 and 4 as the best English-speaking country to retire to. SurveyMonkey ranked the Philippines as number 5 on their list. That was in July of 2023. You can comfortably live there on $1,000 a month. English is one of the official languages in the Philippines. Obviously, you can have problems with anywhere, any place in the world, but overall, most people say in the Philippines, Americans are more than welcome. Even the government wants them. The Philippines are actively courting Filipino Americans to return and retire in the Philippines, promising a better quality of life. A single person's estimated monthly cost in the Philippines is about $545 American. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment outside city center is about $170. 82% of the population speaks English. Number 3, Jamaica. Jamaica is known for its beaches, lush green mountains, and reggae culture. This island nation has a rich history dating back to the indigenous Taino people. Since gaining independence in 1962, it has become a lively democracy. Back in 2022, Yahoo ranked Jamaica as the 4th most affordable country to retire to. A single person can live on $862 a month in Jamaica, not counting rent. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Jamaica outside of a city center is about $318 a month. If you want to live in the city center, apartments normally start around $700, work their way up into the thousands. 89% of the population in Jamaica speaks English. Number 2, Belize. Belize is an often overlooked option for retirement on the Caribbean coast of Central America. They have an impressive history in Belize, tracing back to the ancient Mayan civilization. Yes, it's right next to Mexico, and the Mayans were here too. A lot of people just, for some reason, think Aztecs and Mayans were only in Mexico. The Aztecs were. The Mayans were all over the place. They were in what would become Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and even down to Honduras and a little bit of El Salvador. Today, it's a very diverse nation with a population of about 410,000, give or take a little bit. With English as the official language, it's an attractive option for English speakers looking for a new home. Yes, you could buy real estate here. Belize has been actively courting American and Canadian retirees to come down there and make a new home. The average person can survive on about $700 a month, not counting rent, and rent outside of city center is only about $250 a month in Belize. 70% of this country speaks English. All right, before we get to number 1, is there any place that's not on this list that you've looked into? We'd like to know in the comments section below. We're going to use that information for a future video. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Panama. Panama is straight up calling those Americans looking to escape the daily grind without breaking the bank. They have programs trying to entice Americans, Canadians, Australians to come to Panama. I've lived in Panama. It's a nice country. Been quite a few years since I lived there, but I loved it. It was great. The people were warm. The people were welcoming. They had a problem with the military, which I was in, but overall, they were pretty decent to Americans that weren't in uniform. But about living in Panama. First things first, language barrier. It's not really an issue in Panama. Sure, Spanish is the name of the game, but guess what? English is basically the reliable backup for most folks in Panama. That's a huge plus for all the Americans that move down there that can barely speak English and nothing else. They've got Panama City, Cologne, rainforests, beaches. They've got it all. Perfect for retiring. Panama's definitely cheaper than living back in the States. We're talking housing, groceries, the whole shebang is just cheaper. You could retire in Panama and forget all about pinching pennies in retirement. It's like the ultimate upgrade for your life without the eye-watering price tag. They do speak English, but it'd be a good idea to brush up on your Spanish if you do decide to pull the trigger on Panama. The average person can survive on about $780 a month in Panama. not counting rent. Now, if you get a one-bedroom apartment outside of city center, you're looking at about $540 a month. So overall, you can live pretty good here for under $1,500 a month. About 65% of Panama speaks English. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, be nice to each other.